You remember Greg Raymer.
Yeah!
A year ago, he won the main event, and fame and fortune was his. Now Fossil Man is back. He's the chip leader, and he has something to prove.
There's a big difference between one bracelet and two bracelets. The more you have, the more clear it is you weren't just a mediocre player who got lucky.
But winning won't be easy, because when you're the champ, everyone is gunning for you.
Greg Raymer was to my left yesterday. He took me off a lot of pots and I lost a lot of chips. Payback is coming.
Raymer, of course, he's a chip leader today. However, if I can double up against him once, then I'm the chip leader.
So what's it going to be? Will the world champion win another bracelet? Or will one of the 4 seasoned pros or 4 newcomers take him down? Stay tuned, because all eyes are on Raymer. The Rio in Las Vegas is playing host to the 2005 World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light. Our 9 remaining players have emerged from the 3rd largest poker field ever, each seeking $611,000 in first prize money and a gold bracelet.
Hello, everybody. I'm Lon McCarron, along with Norman Chad. A year ago, Greg Raymer bested over 2,500 players to win the main event. This time, he's already outlasted 2,000 players and has only 8 more to go to shed any fluke label.
Fossil Man's no fluke, Lon. Still, he'd love to get a second bracelet to validate his 2004 title. Then there's veteran Mark Safe, who won his first bracelet in the last event he entered, so he's looking for a World Series rarity, back-to-back victories.
Before this year, the closest Mark Safe came to a bracelet was 9th place in 2003. Greg Raymer, since winning the main event last year, has been a great ambassador for the game of poker.
Min Win, a Men the Master pupil, a powerhouse player. This is his 3rd final table at this World Series. And there's Dave Olliott, the Devilfish. This is his 9th World Series final table.
And here's how our 9 players stack up on the Levitra chip count. Greg Raymer has the lead right now, but not a very big one. No lead, actually, and No Limit is very safe. Speaking of safe, Mark Safe just above the $300,000 waterline. And there is the world champion Greg Raymer on the Milwaukee's Best Light pocket cam, and he's got pocket 6s.
He likes being world champion. Why shouldn't he?
Absolutely. And he'll raise, the world champion does, to $40,000. Mark Safe will fold.
And the signature glasses go on. Fossil Man puts them on anytime he's in a hand.
Min Win folds over 2 Devilfish with King. Queen offsuit. And, oh, nice card protector.
Well, he is a jeweler, so he will put out an extra dime or 2 for a good card protector.
He makes the call. So Devilfish and Raymer to the flop. It comes 8-3-7. Neither player catches anything there. Check. And a check from Raymer.
These guys do have 2 distinct looks, do they not?
They do indeed. And the turn card is a 5. Raymer building toward a straight.
Up and down straight draw for Fossil Man. Devilfish first to act.
And he does come out with 60,000 chips.
Olliott says, you might be the world champion, but I'm the Devilfish. Take that. Devilfish thinks he can outplay most of his opponents after the flop.
And he's been able to do that for much of his career. Raymer gets some chips, and he'll make the call.
Devilfish betting here with nothing. He just has king high. Did not like to see that call.
And the river card's a 10. Now the check mark next to Raymer's name indicates he's got the winning hand. He can only lose by folding.
And Devilfish knows he can't win the hand unless he forces Raymer to fold. So he may indeed take another stab at this pot.
He's going to give it a shot. 80,000 chips from Devilfish. Is it enough to force Raymer out?
Raymer looking at a bunch of overcards on the board. He just has a pair of 6s.
I call.
Raymer's going to make the call.
You win.
And indeed he does with his pocket 6s.
Raymer shows a pair of 6s, pocket 6s.
Devilfish didn't have anything, and he lost it.
I forgot I watched you on TV win that final, and you called everything, baby. I must be crazy, huh?
That's actually a little insulting, Lon.
So Raymer wins the hand with pocket 6s and takes more than half of Olliott's chips in the process.
Never try and bluff a calling station, baby.
Frankly, that's rather insulting from Devilfish. Raymer made a great read.
The chip leader just got a lot more chips. You got a good look at the bracelet that Raymer won for last year's main event. Here is this year's version of the bracelet. Everybody shooting for.
And Bill Gaze is one of the better players in poker who's yet to win a bracelet.
And don't do anything crazy, y'all, that you're going to spend a year regretting. These World Series mistakes are painful for a year. Don't ever do anything too crazy that you have to wish you hadn't done.
Well, for instance, he might have shaved before coming here. That's a mistake.
He may regret that for a year. Bill Gaze is playing counselor at this table of 9. The blinds at 8 and 16,000, not insignificant. Raymer now with ace-10 of clubs. And he will call the big blind from the small blind. Over to Mark Safe.
Mark Safe won his last event he played here. Then he went to Miami for a couple of days and then has come back here to play this and made the final table.
And he'll go heads up with a 4 deuce of clubs. Against Raymer, the flop is 5, ace, 3. Safe flops the wheel.
Oh, my goodness. He flops the nuts. 2 lawyers, heads up, which means I have no rooting interest. But now Safe looks like he's got the hand.
But Raymer did get a pair of aces, and now Safe comes out and bets a modest 20,000.
Yeah, it's a suspicious bet because the blinds are at 8 and 16,000, so it's a small bet, and Raymer will call it.
So Safe with a huge advantage, holding the ace to 5 straight as we go to the turn. 8 of hearts, and that closes the door on Raymer. He's drawing dead.
And he checks.
Like glance from Safe.
Yeah, I don't understand what that was all about. That might have been a parking dispute before they got in here.
Well, he comes out with 50,000 chips, 10 blues at 5,000 apiece.
And this is a treacherous road for Raymer. Remember, he flopped the pair of aces.
And he calls it. And now the river card. It's an 8, and now Raymer's got aces and 8s.
He's got dead man's hand, and he's a dead man walking. He checks.
Now Mark's Safe.
What bet does he think will be called?
All in.
All his chips.
Anything think about 8 of spades, 8 of diamonds?
Well, the answer is an exhale.
Jennifer Moore, Mark Safe's girlfriend, looking on anxiously.
Mark Safe looks like he committed some crime.
I call.
Raymer makes the call. Wow.
Yes. That was the only hand I worried about at all.
I don't know how that could be the only hand he worried about. Devilfish told Raymer that he's a calling station, and that time it cost Fossil Man.
You had me outgunned there, partner.
Well, Safe now has Raymer out-chipped.
It's nice to have chips, isn't it, Mark?
Gaze is good friends with Mark Safe and seems a little jealous of his chip stack right now.
Flopping a straight against a chip leader. Great way to start your day. Raymer's second best now.
The 2005 World Series of Poker is presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, brewed for a man's taste, Miller Brewing Company, and in part by Toyota. Choose any direction as long as it's forward. Toyota, moving forward. And Harrah's Entertainment, home of the world's richest poker tournament. The World Series of Poker presented by Milwaukee's Best Light.
Welcome back to the 2005 World Series of Poker. This is event number 22 of 42.
And we are approaching the $10,000 buy-in main event. Gold diggers already clogging the streets of the Strip, wanting to get a piece of that action.
And the man who mined the biggest pot of gold, world champion Greg Raymer, will fold. Over to Mark Safe. He will not play.
Devilfish Ulliott, one of the legendary players in England, says he once played 3 different games in 3 different towns one night and managed to break all of them.
You must be able to smell it, boys.
Well, Devilfish is going to risk going broke himself with ace-7 offsuit. Going to put everything in the pot.
It's the first time I've ever wanted action. I want to double up.
He wants the action. Over to Steve Rassi, the amateur from Illinois. He folds. Weber Kang lives in Dallas, Texas, 24-year-old. Got ace-queen.
Devilfish doesn't want this action.
I can't.
Weber's coming with everything he's got. Devilfish might have been bluffing when he said he wanted the action. But he does indeed have it from young Weber Kang.
Well, Devilfish all in. Bill Gaze has told us that he wanted to knock out Devilfish, so he might be rooting for Ulliott here so he can take him out later.
All right, so Ulliott with a 3-1 disadvantage going to the flop. The flop, 10-8 king, not what Devilfish is looking for at all.
Kang with a straight draw, Devilfish looking to pair his 7.
And now the turn card is a jack, and Kang gets his straight.
Kang gets Broadway, and now Devilfish cannot win the hand. He can still split the pot. If he gets a queen on the river, they'll have identical ace-high straights. Otherwise, Devilfish is going home.
River card is at 10. Devilfish is going home. Weber Kang wins the hand. Devilfish is the first victim of this no-limit hold'em final table.
Win it. Yeah, win it.
Well, Devilfish seems to be throwing his support to Mark Safe while just shaking hands with Greg Raymer. We saw Devilfish riding Raymer a little bit earlier, and Greg Raymer is the man who won the biggest poker tournament in all the world, but he's still searching for respect from his peers.
I will never top what I was able to do last year.
Raymer has bested the biggest tournament field in poker history.
There's nothing higher left for me to do except to do it again and try to really establish myself as an all-time great player.
I was hoping to double through you a couple times.
The money's nice, the respect is nice, but I mostly get respect from people who knew who I was before I won the main event.
Presto!
Of course I have detractors. Because it's the only major event I've ever won, it's that much easier for them to say, he's not that good, he just got lucky for a week. And it's not like it really matters to me whether I silence them or not.
It's okay, I don't mind it when people put their money in bet against me.
But it's still nice to silence them. The more you win, the more respect you get. You know, and this is my career now, so I want to do good at it.
After he won the world title, Raymer got an agent, an entertainment law firm in LA, and they asked him for a $5,000 retainer. He took out a wad of $100 bills and tried to pay them in cash. He says they didn't know what to do with cash. Poker players.
Peter Lee, a 25-year-old med school hopeful from New York, with pocket fives, is going to raise the big blind to 40,000. Raymer's not going to play this hand. Over to Mark Safe, who always looks like he's accusing somebody of something.
Yeah, when he was a prosecuting attorney, I would have thought I was guilty if he just looked at me.
Ace deuce of diamonds, he will call from the small blind. So it's Safe and Lee going to the flop. Lee with a 2-1 advantage. And the flop comes 5-8-5. Peter Lee flops quad fives.
Peter Lee doing his best not to draw attention to himself. He's just very calm, composed, nothing much happening out there, and he will check behind Mark Safe,
who is drawing dead as we go to the turn, but Safe pairs his deuce, and that's great news for Peter Lee, actually.
Yeah, because Mark Safe is going to make a play at this pot right here.
He comes out with 75,000 chips.
And this isn't even necessarily a bluff, as you hear Peter Lee call. Mark Safe might believe he's got the best hand right now. He's got fives and deuces.
And now the river is a 9 of spades.
Safe immediately checks.
Now Peter Lee, this will be interesting. He brings out 100,000 chips.
And Safe gives Lee the whooshka whooshka look.
You missed your flush draw? You got like ace queen?
Well, when you're wrong, you might as well be very wrong. At least that's been my experience.
Well, let's see how much Mark Safe trusts his instincts against Peter Lee.
There you go.
And he puts the chips in the pot and sees the quad fives.
Whoa.
That leaves a bad taste in the mouth of Mark Safe.
Well, when you play as many hands as Safe does, once in a while you're going to bang your head up against Godzilla.
Boy, how about the amateur Peter Lee playing his quads very well against the poker veteran, the seasoned Mark Safe.
I'm always nervous when a guy breathes in before the flop and doesn't exhale until after the river's over.
Peter Lee breathing a lot easier now. Welcome back to the Rio Hotel and Casino. You see our chip count for the final 8 players. Mark Safe, Greg Raymer, Peter Lee, 1, 2, 3 are the big chip stacks here.
Fossil Man likes to bully people around with a big chip stack. He hasn't had much of an opportunity today. Mark Safe, when he's had big chips in the past, told us that he would often bluff away all his chips. He loves to bluff. He's trying to pick his spots better.
Mark Safe in the hand with his ace-10 for 40,000. Over to Men Win. He had 7 cashes last year in the World Series, but he folds here.
Steve Rassi deals in rare coins. He's looking for an 1895 proof Morgan silver dollar if anyone out there has one.
I'll check my pockets. He has pocket 8s, and he is going to move all in with his remaining 212,000 chips over to Weber Kang with ace-king.
Well, actually, Steve Rassi right now would probably prefer to have pocket aces to that Morgan dollar.
And Kang is going to make the call. Action on Safe now. So Safe holding ace-10.
All right, I'm out.
He says he's going to fold. So it'll be Kang and Rassi to the flop. Rassi's the one all in, but if Kang loses this hand, he'll only have about 2,000 chips left, and his cheering section's looking a little bit nervous, Norman.
Kang's got a posse.
He does.
This game's getting too big, Lon.
Little card. Little card.
And now the flop. Pair of 6s and a 5. So far, so good for Rassi.
Littler. 2-3.
Weber Kang
2-3.
seems indifferent.
He does indeed. Turn card. Oh, the king! Kang grabs the lead in a flash.
Rassi devastated. Frankly, he should just put his jacket on. He's all but out of here. Rassi now will need an 8 and an 8 only on the river, or he is wamboozled.
And now the river. It's a 10 of hearts. That's not good enough for Rassi to steal the hand. He'll go out in 8th place, win almost $64,000. And Weber Kang and his posse celebrate that win. He's over 400,000 chips now, and Weber Kang just knocked off his second straight player at this final table. First Devilfish, and now Rassi. Kang is now over 400,000 chips.
Men win with a smaller cheering section. It's Men the Master behind him, and that man's got more jewelry than everybody else here in the gallery.
Well, he does indeed, looking closely over the shoulder of his protege who's taken off.
Wow, there is a man on a mission.
Men win, sprinting off to the restroom. And as we learned in this edition of The Nuts, you don't buy the bottled water and beer in a casino, you just rent it.
La 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 la. About to pee my pants. La 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 la. La la. I'm gonna run.
Bladder control is an issue, and I've mastered that.
You need to be drinking at the right time during the 2-hour session so that on the 15-minute break is when you use the restroom.
There's a huge mass rush to the bathroom. You have to be in pretty good shape to jog fast and get to the front of the line.
There's so many people, you're screwed.
I can't even believe they're waiting in a line like that. There aren't very many women who play poker, so I can just casually get up and go to the restroom with no lines.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
This year it's a huge advantage to be a woman because you get right into the bathroom, you don't have to wait.
I've actually thought about coming to the World Series dressed in drag so that I could use the women's bathroom.
Unless they're giving away like free sex, like I'm not waiting online for anything, so I just don't go.
There's actually things you can take that strengthen everything down there.
If you wear a catheter, or Depends, you're good to go.
I know right when the perfect time to leave is, and I bolt.
There's this secret bathroom that I'm not telling anybody about. That's where I go. For everyone else, wait in line. Good luck.
At least you guys didn't follow me to the bathroom.
Did he not learn his lesson, Lon? That water's got to find another home soon.
Men win. Back and refilling already. And you see our chip count. Mark Safe still top dog here, but look at Weber Kang. You knock off a couple players early and you start to be a force at the final table.
Peter Lee almost here by accident, visiting friends in L.A. And then just like the movie Swingers, they said to him, let's go to Vegas. And they all came here to play in the World Series.
It's his first World Series, and he makes a final table. Nice showing. Peter Lee calls the big blind with pocket nines. Greg Raymer with 8-7 offsuit will make the call also. Mark Safe now, our chip leader, folds over to Men Win.
Men Win actually is in America by accident. He's from Vietnam. He was working at the age of 15 on a fishing boat. The crew decided to flee the country. He was on the boat as they went, and they were picked up by a U.S. tank carrier eventually.
And Men wound up with a foster family in Montana, and now here he is at our final table, raising the action to $120,000 to Peter Lee. Win holds ace-7 of clubs, and Peter Lee re-raises $100,000 more.
Oh, the ante's going up, and Raymer had been hoping to get in cheap, and now they're tacking all these surcharges onto the hand.
Nothing cheap about it now, and Raymer gets rid of his 8-7 offsuit. Now to Men Win, and he makes the call.
Peter Lee actually credits Phil Gordon for his success here. He introduced himself to Gordon. Gordon gave him some advice and even sweated him.
Now the flop comes 6-5 queen. Lee keeps his lead with pocket nines.
But Min does pick up a flush draw.
Lee first to act, and he's going to bet enough to put Men Win all in. Min Win shoves the rest of his chips in, 65,000 more.
A small pair.
Min Win having to go all in just on the club draw. He is the only multiple bracelet winner at this table. He's in danger here of going out.
He's got 2 cards to come. He needs 1 club. And now the turn card, Jack of Diamonds. Min Win comes up empty there.
Peter Lee's pocket 9s are still best. Min Win, possibly down to his last card of this tournament. He will need an ace or a club on the river, or the bathroom beckons.
Now the river. Oh, King of Clubs! Min Win takes a big bite out of Peter Lee's chip stack, nailing the club flush with the last card. So Peter Lee got his chips in the middle with the best cards, and he had the best cards almost all the way until Min Win stole it at the end. And since Min Win will remain at this table, he better be a little more careful about his drinking patterns. Welcome back to the Rio and our final table action already underway. Steve Carter on the left is going up against Bill Gazes after the flop. Carter holds 8-3 against the pair of 6s for Bill Gazes. Carter has moved all in and Gazes pondering his next move. His girlfriend Deborah looks on. She's on the left there.
I feel for Steve Carter. I hate it when a guy comes all this way then puts all his chips in with just 8 high.
You have a 7?
Bill calls.
Nah, I got none.
So with that call by Bill Gazes, Steve Carter's tournament life officially at risk.
Steve Carter owns a retail poker store, and he's now a 4-1 underdog to stay in business here.
Well, that poker store in Frisco, Texas should do a little better business, just the fact he made the final table. Here comes our turn card. It's a 3, a pair of 3s now for Carter, but he needs more help than that.
Yeah, it's a start for him, but he's going to need another 3 or an 8 on the river, or Steve Carter's tournament is over.
Now he's read enough of those poker books in his shop to know he's a long shot. River's a 4 of diamonds. Bill Gazes wins the hand. Steve Carter swallows the bitter pill of elimination, goes out in 7th place, but wins over $91,000. Well, Bill might not have the biggest cheering section at the Rio, but they're pretty loud.
Nice guy wins pot.
Yeah, Bill Gazes is one of the nice guys, swimming in a poker world full of sharks, but life has taught him how to be a survivor in these dangerous waters.
I traded bonds. I was a baseball coach. Then I was a nanny with a fake Swedish accent. Then I moved out to California and found poker. Well, it cost a fortune. To stay on the tour this year would cost me upwards of $250,000. It's pressure. People say, congratulations, you just won $210,000. You say, okay, now I need to make 40 more to break even for the year, and then we can start paying the bills. I enjoy the game, but I enjoy the strategy, but it's hard. I mean, there's an energy to it that definitely goes against the way I am. What all does it mean? There's an aggression, it's a kill or be killed kind of thing. I'm more of a clever type player. I'm pretty relaxed, I have fun when I play. Where are you from? We haven't even met yet. But at the same time, it's anything goes on a clean felt, you know? When you sit down, you're your own person.
Bill Gaze is not your typical card shark. He gives a lot of his time and money to environmental interests.
What are you guys gonna do with your money?
I'm gonna put it on the baseball game.
How about you?
At home.
Help all my parents.
Huh?
Give us some money to my parents.
Give it to your parents? All right, see, we got a good answer finally. He's gonna give it to his parents. Give some to his parents.
Make me feel good if I had to lose to a guy now, knowing that he's gonna give some to his parents, do some good deeds with it.
Who's Mark Safe kidding? He'd deal off the bottom of the deck against his own mother.
If Weber Kang wins, some of that $611,000 first prize money going to his parents. That's very nice. Weber's parents sent he and his sister to the U.S. from Taiwan to go to high school, and now it looks like his poker education may be paying bigger dividends for mom and dad. Over to Peter Lee, and on the Milwaukee's Best Light pocket cam, couple of spades, ace-9. And he's going to raise it up. It's $60,000 to play now.
Mark Safe says that when you win a big tournament, then you become a better player, and he says Raymer has done just that since the main event.
Raymer's put pressure on himself to be a better player, and that has helped as well. But Raymer folds, Safe with pocket deuces. He calls.
And he just won a tournament, so he might be a better player than he was a week ago, because success begats success. When you win, you play to a higher level.
So Lee and Safe to the flop, pretty much a coin flip. Pair of deuces for safe leads right now, and the flop is king, king, 5. No immediate help except a spade in there for Lee.
80.
He's going to bet 80,000 after safe checked.
Safe just hoping that Peter Lee didn't flop quad kings.
He did flop quad 5s against him before. Safe makes the call. And now the turn card. And it's a deuce. Safe's got a full house.
You see from the check mark, he has the hand won as long as he stays in it.
Mark Safe in control now, and he will check over to Peter Lee. And Peter Lee checks as well. So we go to the river. It's an ace. Peter Lee now has aces up, and that might cause him some hurt.
200.
Safe bets 200,000 into Lee.
Safe hoping that river card helped Lee. Safe's been a high-stakes player for 18 years. He knows if that river card gave Lee a flush, he'll get a call out of him. As we know, it did give him aces up. We'll see what Lee wants to do.
I call.
Well, Lee's going to make the call. And he's going to discover that he has lost the hand to a full house.
Safe, a hyper-aggressive player. And sometimes his opponents don't expect him to have much, and he gets more calls out of them when he's got the nuts.
So Peter Lee, who had been flirting with the chip lead, lost about half of his chip stack in that hand.
Lucky.
You know, Norm, it's funny how some of the best poker players say how lucky they get so often.
Did you have a heart?
No.
Come on. You called 200,000 on the end with no heart?
On a 5.
Wow. Nobody gives me credit here. I wonder why.
It's working out just fine so far, Mark. Don't complain.
The Toyota Points Leader is brought to you by Toyota. Choose any direction, as long as it's forward. Toyota, moving forward.
Mark Safe has some Toyota leaderboard points already. He'll be the top 10 for sure if he wins a second bracelet. You know, history and bracelets of the World Series often come in pairs. Brothers and sisters have bracelets, as Howard Lederer and Annie Duke have 3 between them. Husbands and wives have bracelets, as Harry and Jerry Thomas each have 1. But one pair missing from this poker bracelet trivia pursuit are fathers and sons. Barry Greenstein won his second career bracelet while his son Joe Seabach congratulated him. The next day, Joe made his first career final table and had a chance at history, but wound up finishing 8th while he was consoled by his father. Now history was left up to poker's most famous father-son duo, the Brunsons. Doyle has a record 9 World Series bracelets, while Todd has made 3 final tables with no bracelets so far. But Todd finally did break through while Doyle cheered him on as the Brunsons added their names to a new page in the World Series record book.
That's my man.
So looking at the current standing on our Toyota Player of the Year leaderboard, Chris Ferguson leads everybody, and Norm, he makes so many final tables, he's got to have a twin brother out there.
You know, I think you're onto something. I could have sworn he was in front of me and behind me in the buffet line the other day.
All right, we continue at our final table here of this $1,500 no-limit hold'em event, the World Championship bracelet of the world champion, Greg Raymer, looking at pocket 7s. Been pretty quiet since Mark Safe took a lot of chips off him a while back. Raymer's going to bet 50,000
and put on his signature glasses. Actually, the ones he wore last year, he put away for safekeeping. The ones he had bought at the Tower of Terror gift shop at Disney World, and these are a second pair that he now wears.
Action folds over to Bill Gazes in the big blind. Ace King, he's got to love that. Bill said he was tired of the casino atmosphere. He and his girlfriend took off for some national parks. He's back, he's fresh.
I'm all in.
He's playing well, and he's all in.
What was he playing, heads up against a grizzly bear over there?
Let's go, I call.
Oh, and Raymer calls it.
I saw that 7, I didn't like the way that looked.
Got ace king.
I wanted to see an ace when he turned out, not 7.
Pocket 7.
7 can only be one thing.
Well, yeah, but an ace could mean good, really good news or really bad news.
I often mention how ace-king is the fatal blow for a lot of players. Gaze is all in with it. Raymer, however, has got about 2/3 of his chip at risk in this hand.
Now the flop. It comes 3, Queen Jack. Raymer keeps his lead.
Fossilman specialized in winning these coin flips last year on the way to the main event title. He's still in good shape. Gazes has picked up a straight draw. A 10 would give him Broadway.
So Raymer with the advantage on the turn, and now it turns around. Gazes pairs his ace and takes command.
Gazes also picks up a royal flush draw, but that's not critical. You see from the percentages, he's about to cripple Raymer, but Fossilman can still send Gazes home with a 7 on the river.
And it's got to be a 7 of clubs for Raymer because a 7 of diamonds would get Gazes a winning flush. The river card is a king, and that adds insult to injury. Bill Gazes with aces up doubles his chips to Greg Raymer.
And Bill Gazes with plenty of reason to smile as he gets new life at this table. And the world champ, though, he's taken another big hit to his chip stack.
Bill Gazes now has over 500,000 chips. He's making expenses so far for this month. But the man to beat still at this table is Mark Safe, as he still is in search of his second straight bracelet. But Greg Raymer, the short stack at 137,000.
Not the way he envisioned this day. He was the chip leader at the outset.
Raymer with pocket threes. He needs to make something happen and make it happen soon. Well, he's going to try right here. Push everything in with his pocket threes. Next in line, Mark Safe says no thanks. Min Nguyen folds over to Weber Kang. He looks down at Ace-Jack.
Similar hand to what Bill Gazes just had against Fossil Man.
I'm all in.
And Weber Kang says all in. And this is our degree all-in moment with world champion Greg Raymer's tournament life at stake. Raymer gets a first look at Kang's cards.
Let's see if I can win this race.
As I mentioned, Raymer was winning all these races last year en route to the main event title. Now, if he loses back-to-back races here, he's gone.
With the pocket threes, he's got the slide advantage.
I don't know. I don't feel like I'm going to win this race, though.
Well, it's not the confident Greg Raymer that we've come to love. The flop, Jack 6-9, Kang pairs his Jack.
Boy, Raymer saw that coming before it came.
The options for world champion Greg Raymer are dwindling. And now the turn card. It's a queen, no help to Raymer as he faces elimination.
He's down in the mouth now, but Lon, you know, he got his money these last couple of hands into the middle, both times with the best hand. But if he does not make a 3 here on the river, he'll be going home.
And now the river card. With Greg Raymer's tournament life at stake. It's a 4 that will not do it for Raymer. Weber Kang wins the hand, earns the degree check mark, wiping out Greg Raymer in 6th place.
Nothing said fluke today about Greg Raymer, Lon. He barely had a hair out of place. He just ran into some bad luck.
And bad luck in the name of Weber Kang, the amateur from Dallas, Texas via Hong Kong, gets all of Raymer's chips. It was Bill Gazes who actually put the big hurt on Raymer, but Kang eliminated his 3rd player from this final table. Greg Raymer, the biggest knockout he could ask for.
You're always disappointed anytime you don't win a tournament, even if you don't go in with the chip leader. If I'd come in as a short stack, I'd be disappointed right now. Because when you make a final table, you always have a shot.
The all-in moment is brought to you by New Degree for Men who take risks. It won't let you down. The World Series of Poker presented by Milwaukee's Best Light.
Back at the Rio in this final table, Mark Safe is on the right. Peter Lee standing up and all in there on the left against Safe. Lee's got a pair of 7s, Safe a 9-8 of hearts, and a straight draw.
5-8, 9-10. Come on!
Ace would be nice.
Peter Lee's got the 7s, but his hand is quite vulnerable.
And now we go to the turn with percentages 50-50. Turn is a 9!
Oh, come on!
Safe got what he needed.
That will send Peter Lee to the brink.
King, queen.
7 or ace, please.
King, queen. Come on. Paint! Paint!
Peter Lee needs an ace or a 7 or he's gone.
And the river card is a Jack, and that closes the door on Peter Lee. Mark Safe collects all the rest of Lee's chips. He goes out in 5th place, takes home $147,000. And the Mark Safe contingent likes what they see. Mark Safe has played judge, jury, and executioner here at this final table. He comes by it honestly, though. His pre-poker days were spent in the courtroom.
Prior to being a professional poker player, I was an attorney, but I didn't enjoy the preparation. I didn't enjoy reading 16 hours a day. I really enjoyed trying cases. Once I got in the courtroom, that was a lot of fun. The thing that's so great about poker is that you're always in the courtroom. You're always performing. I love the fact that you are rewarded almost instantly for being a good decision maker, for reading people.
Never bluff. It's just dishonest.
Those are the same qualities you have to have as a lawyer. And I'm just used to this kind of environment. I thrive in it. This is what drives me to poker.
Safe calls himself a fat former athlete. It was in 2001 he decided to leave his law firm and play poker full-time.
And it has paid off today. 1.7 million chips. Got a lot more than the rest of them combined.
Well, we got 1 fish and 3 sharks left. With all apologies to Weber Kang, 3 really tough guys left on this table.
All in.
With pocket jacks, Min Nguyen moves all in with 420,000. Safe had already folded. Action on Weber Kang. Pocket tens.
I call.
And Weber pushes all of his chips in.
Well, Min Nguyen had gone all in. He does have Kang covered.
Now to Bill Gaze's. Oh, ace-king. Quickly becoming your favorite hand, Norm.
I knew I'd have a hand also.
He's going to think about it, and he's in a tough position, Lon. He's got 2 guys all in front of him. He has them both covered, but if he calls his bet, it would be for almost all his chips. If I were him, I might just go plant a tree. I mean, I'd be afraid one of the guys in front of me has pocket aces or kings.
I'm all in.
He is all in also. Which means that Kang and Nguyen are all in because, as you mentioned, Gazes has them covered in chips. So Bill Gazes with a chance to knock out 2 players. And Mark Safe says, I'm glad I'm out of here.
This has got the feel of a backstreet boxing ring right now. Min Nguyen in the best position.
How can you call it a hand?
How can I call this hand?
Yeah, what were you thinking? I have no hand to move in twice?
Well, you moved it. You've been moving it all the time, man.
I want to heads up with him with you.
Well, man, I guess I play bad.
No, you sir.
I mean, I guess I play bad. I'm getting 2-1 with ace-king right here. You think I'm going to throw away ace-king in this game, four-handed?
I don't know who's right, so I'll just say this. I'm glad I didn't have to go to the bathroom so I can watch this hand.
It's like a battle royal of poker. 3 players, 2 of them all in, 1.2 million in the pot. And here comes our flop. 2-10 jack!
A set of jacks for a win, a set of 10s for Kang, a straight draw for Gazes. They're all acting like they just saw a UFO.
They can't fill up. I mean, it's going to be hard for them to fill up once I make it straight.
Well, Min Nguyen improves his position. Kang's almost out of here.
Bad news for Kang. He would need the last 10 in the deck to stay alive.
Bad call, you part, man. Bad call.
But a queen still gives Gazes.
Queen of spades, no less. Queen of spades.
Yeah, the queen gives him a straight, and then would knock the other 2 players out if it holds up. And now the turn. It's a 6 of hearts. Min Nguyen closer to winning this hand.
Yeah, that turn is almost like 1 nail and 2 coffins. Gazes still looking for a queen to make his straight. Else he's all but out of here. Kang needs a 10 and a 10 only, or he's out of here.
And now the river. It's a 9. Nguyen wins it. Weber Kang eliminated. Bill Gaze is crippled.
Played great, man. Good job. Good job.
Weber Kang will go home in 4th place. This amateur player wins $175,000. Nice showing, Weber. Mom and Dad, the check's in the mail.
Boy, I'm going to have trouble going back to my 1-2 game after watching that hand.
Well, Min Nguyen now a lot closer to our chip leader. Min's got 1.2 million chips, but Safe still leads this table with 1.7 million. And Bill Gazes, he's hurt. He's down to 50,000.
Get ready for the greatest poker comeback, boys. You can be a part of it.
The 2005 World Series of Poker is presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, brewed for a man's taste, Miller Brewing Company, and in part by New Degree for Men. With twice the protection you need, it won't let you down. And Harrah's Entertainment, home of the world's richest poker tournament.
Welcome back to the Rio. As expected, Bill Gazes went all in right away with his remaining 50,000 chips, holding 7-6 of clubs. Min Nguyen is in the hand, and he's leading with 2 kings and a couple of deuces. Mark Safe also playing. He's got a pair of 9s and the deuces as we go to the river with Gazes on the ropes.
Gazes needs a club, otherwise I'm going to miss him. He's a treat to be around.
And now the river card. And it's an ace of hearts. And that is the end of the day for Bill Gazes. Min Win, Mark Safe, check it down. Min Win wins the hand, but Bill Gazes has been eliminated. Third place. He takes home over $202,000. And he leaves here in a daze as he says his goodbye to the two remaining players. Bill came oh so close to his first World Series of Poker bracelet, but as is often the case, it was the hand before the last hand that proved to be the killer.
Mark's a solid player, and Min's a solid player, but if I got to a million chips together just like that, if I won that pot, it was definitely going to be a win for me.
We are now down to two. Mark Safe and Min Win heads up for the World Series bracelet and $611,000 first prize.
It would be totally huge for me to win my second bracelet. It would certainly dismiss any notions that I got lucky and won just one.
A lot of the players always wonder, how come I'm always there? Is he good or is he lucky? I always say I'm both lucky and good.
Min Win's one of the best poker players alive. Can't leave that hanging curveball because he'll hit it right out of the park. He's a big threat.
Mark, very aggressive style player, make a lot of raises, but I think I can beat him.
Mark Safe looking for back-to-back bracelets, but what a tough opponent in Min Win. In 2002, he finished 24th in the main event. In 2003, he was 11th in the main event. And last year, he was runner-up in the World Series Player of the Year standings.
Mark Safe makes it $80,000 with his Queen-Jack offsuit. Min Win with Jack-9 offsuit, and he will make the call. Safe with a 3-1 advantage right now, going to the flop. And the flop comes down 3-9-9. Wow, what a call by Win. Trip nines.
And he will slow play them as he should. Safe checks behind him.
And now the turn card. And, oh, another 9! Quad 9s for Min Win.
He cannot lose the hand. And again, he's going to try to induce a bet out of Mark Safe.
It's the second time that Mark Safe has run up against quads today. The river card is a deuce. Win, first to act.
Well, Win is going to have to do his own bidding now. He tried a couple of times to wait, and now he does bet.
100,000 chips from Min Win. And Mark Safe now reaching double-fistedly.
This looks like the bad timing award.
It's 200,000 more.
This is the second time today Safe has bet into quads. Bet you that doesn't happen to him too often. In the past, he has bluffed off a lot of his chips.
Min Win now. He's got to re-raise it. And he comes out with 500,000 chips.
Well, there's a word that comes to mind right now, Lon.
What's that?
Oops.
Oops.
Safe had bluffed at the pot. His opponent raised him. He really has no choice but to cut his losses.
Yes, you got me.
And he does fold. Min wanted to play the quads to the end. But Min, looks like he's going to show him.
Wow. And Safe looks at quads for the second time today. And he's actually been a little lucky. In both of those hands, he wasn't crippled when he lost.
But Min Win does add 400,000 of Mark Safe's chips to his own stack.
Min Win already with 2 World Series bracelets. Mark Safe going for his second straight bracelet.
I told you it's mine bracelets. You can't take it from me.
I'm going to win.
Jousting with cards, jousting with words. Min Win, 1.39 million. Mark Safe, 1.63. Min Win's hand with ace-10, 2 diamonds. He limps in over to Mark Safe, pocket kings.
There's not going to be any limp in his step.
Safe plops down 100,000. And now Min Win reaches and pushes in 600,000.
Did you raise it? All in.
Go.
Win goes all in as 2 big hands bang up against each other.
Ace.
So Min Win is all in with ace-10 versus the pocket kings of Mark Safe on the verge of winning his second bracelet.
Come on! No funny stuff.
Ace. He's not going to win.
Back to back.
He's done. He cannot win this hand.
Come on, nothing funny, baby.
Safe doesn't want the cards to play any tricks on him, and he'll be home free.
And now here comes our flop. 7 king! 3 kings for Safe.
Come on!
It's all but over.
There it is, baby.
I got to tell you, Lon, With the fields as large as they are right now, just to make 2 straight final tables is statistically improbable. But to win back-to-back events, I won't believe it till I see it. And now, Safe is all but there. Wynn would have to get running cards to make us straight, or Mark Safe's the champion.
And here it is, it's a 9, Mark Safe champion.
Yes!
Mark Safe does it, pulling off the near impossible, winning back-to-back at the 2005 World Series of Poker. Min Wynn came close to winning his third, but he finishes second and wins $330,000, but Mark Safe is the man of the hour. Today we saw a determined world champion start off strong at the final table as he came out of the blocks firing.
You win.
But Fossil Man came up short in his quest for victory. Emotions went from exhilaration to shock to heartbreak. But today became one man's day of reckoning as he found vindication and victory.
You just won back-to-back World Series bracelets in a single week. Are you kidding me?
That feels great. I'm absolutely shocked. This is everything I want.
Oh! Yes! Yes!
What does a man with 2 bracelets do?
Play in the next event and try to win 3.
Enjoy the second bracelet for now, Mark. We'll see you next time from the World Series of Poker.
Yes!